Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
And this is Meaghan with Believe in the Run.
And this is Brandon with Believe in the Run.
What? What is this? What is going on? Where's Robbie?
Robbie's on vacation. He's up and out.
Robbie is in the San Juan Islands. I think it's Orca Islands as well. I don't know. He's up there exploring. He's got a big birthday coming up, so he's adventuring with some friends. We're going to miss him, but we can't wait to hear the raccoon tales when he gets back. And, we were just in San Francisco, May, and there wasn't as much garbage and stuff to find on the street, so I don't know if he's going to have any reports.
I have a feeling he's going to come back with plenty of stories.
I know he found a snake.
Yeah.
I don't know. When we were in San Francisco, he was talking a lot about how the city was pretty clean. So.
Yeah, I think, sadly, he was.
Before we dive into our normal chatter, and we're going to recap sort of our weekend in San Francisco, we want to tell you about the Under Armour All Out
Mile.
Yeah, so from June 1 to June 5th, they're celebrating Global Running Day. You can sign up for the UA All Out Mile anywhere in the world. It's free. And basically, you participate from June 1 to June 5th. You upload your mile to UA Map My Run, and you actually will be ranked on a leaderboard, and you can win prizes.
Prizes. Everybody loves prizes.
Yeah. And also, I feel like this is a really good time to do a mile. Like, maybe you're in between training.
Getting ready to see where your fitness is at.
Yeah. So
Brandon loves a mile.
I do love a mile.
Brandon, what would you go for right now? Like, if you really wanted to hit, like, where do you feel like you would hit a great mile time?
I think out of shape, if I could just on any day go under 440, that would be great. But that's like the wheels got to be turning on that day. So.
I need a bike. How about you, Meg? What do you think you'd be happy with?
I have no idea. I don't race. I haven't raced a 5K. In fact, I looked it up the other day. My 10-mile PR is a faster pace than my 5K PR currently.
What was that pace?
The 10-miler?
Mm-hmm.
A 5:58.
Okay. So Brandon, you got to know that she could probably go sub 5, right?
I was going to say
No. I don't know, but I'm going to say no.
5 flat?
Sub 5.
Yeah, I'll say sub 5 for you. I would be happy just going sub 6.
Yeah.
Like, I would be thrilled. My fastest mile, and obviously I didn't run in high school and stuff, so I did a test, and it was a couple of years ago, but I ran a 5:30. You were there. If I could do that again, I would be so happy.
Yeah. Well, so I think we're going to organize a little team here in Baltimore, which will have some additional prizes. So we'll share that information over on social. But if you want to sign up wherever you are, just go to uallaoutmile.com. You can start your own team. You can join a team, but it should be fun.
All right, cool. What else we got going on? I know we have a party coming up.
We do, which is... We also are launching Grit. So Summer Grit's coming back.
We're going to have a bonkers party.
Thomas, tell them about the theme.
All right. Well, it's a rock and roll theme. And so it's kind of like making your way through stardom. So you start at basically in the garage and hopefully end up in a stadium. And it's going to be fun. But the party itself is June 11th, which Grit doesn't start till July 1st. But June 11th, we're throwing an all-out party. We're going to be doing it at Mobtown Brewing. We're closing down the street. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have beer. We're going to have a live band.
Phantasm.
Yeah, Phantasm, which is playing like 90s and early 2000s.
It's going to be amazing.
Cover band music. And all of it is free for the people that RSVP. You're going to get like 2 beers, which these aren't regular beers. These are Mobtown Brewers. We're going to have 2 custom beers that are themed to the party. We're actually going to do beer cans and everything for it. We're going to have food. If you RSVP, you'll get a bracelet that will entitle you to the two beers and the free food. And then, I mean, if you want to stay, the beers are amazing there, and you just keep the party rolling. But it should be great. Brandon, you're psyched, right?
Those 2 beers, by the way, don't worry, they're going to have really high ABV, so it'll be totally worth it.
I love Brandon. He throws in the ABV. That's good.
Yeah, so we will be sharing how to RSVP later this week or early next week. So look out for that. If you're not on our email list, join that, or we'll post it on social as well.
How many are we limiting the RSVP to?
So it'll be the first 200 people.
Yeah, and we expect there to be a lot more than 200 at the party. The brewery and the street closure should be able to hold a ton of people. But the first 200 will get the bracelets and stuff like that. So you're going to want to jump on it if you're planning on being here and RSVP. Also, I forgot to mention, we're going to do a 3-mile shakeout run. And it will be punk rock because there's not really good routes from there to do a 3-mile run. So it's going to be dirty.
But it'll be fun.
Yeah. You'll get Rob. I'll probably let Robbie pick out the actual course so that it's extra raccoon.
Nice.
Be like down through the industrial center and back.
Yeah.
I can imagine that for sure.
Yeah. I got excited because I did see during our workout today, I did see something that Robbie would like. I'll wait till we cover our weekly running to get into that. But Meg, you had an interesting thing that doesn't typically happen with you with your training. So this morning I run into Meg and you look tired and you told me you were bailing on your workout.
Yep, I did.
What's going on?
Well, I went back and looked at our calendar. And I think I know what happened. I think I'm exhausted. Okay, but I just have to run through this really quick because it's hilarious. So starting at the last weekend of March, we raced the BNA half. The following weekend, we ran Cherry Blossom. The following weekend, we took the boys to Florida for their spring break.
And Cherry Blossom was a trip. Like we stayed, got a hotel. Oh.
After Florida, we got back for like a day. Then we flew to Boston. We did all those events. I ran the marathon. Then we got back and ran the Frederick half.
Which you won.
And then we came back and flew to California and then randomly signed up for the Beta Breakers. So I think I've done 6 races in 8 weeks.
Out of those 6, you won 4 of them.
Right. Yeah. Just to note, Meg has like no chill when it comes to racing. So she had to go all out on all 6 of them.
Oh, and I forgot to say I flew down to Florida to help my parents move.
So it wasn't
in there
like a
too.
vacation.
No. So we haven't really had any downtime, and I think it all just caught up to me this morning. And I went out there and I even knew on my warm up, I was like, I feel terrible. I should go back to bed. And I was like, nah, you'll just get into it.
When the alarm went off this morning,
Yeah.
it was one of those rough alarms.
Yeah.
Like even Ralphie was like, like I just had to swing my legs over the bed to just make sure that I didn't go back to sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got out there, I started to do my first rep and I looked down at my watch and it said 7:30. And I was like, I am going all out right now. Like this is not happening. It turned out I was looking at the wrong thing, but I just decided to bail on the workout.
What were you actually doing? It was like 5:40. Right?
I was actually running like a 5-something high, but
Can you imagine running a 5-something high and then looking at your watch and it saying 7:30 and you're like, I can't go anymore.
I spent a lot of the run being like, I wonder if there's something really wrong with me. Like, but I think I'm just tired.
You must know that the pace that you're running though is like internally, that's 5:40, 5:50 pace.
No, I'm so tired. I just was like, oh man, something's wrong. It just felt hard. Anyway, so I bailed on my workout.
And I got to see her and I felt tired, but I was like, I'm just going to do it by effort. I don't care. Cause my coach is like, just run by effort. That's all you need to do. And Meg's my coach. I was out there and I felt like I was running slower than my splits were. And I was surprised when I got home. I was like, wow, I'm glad I didn't, because I was half tempted. Meaghan was like, I'm tired. I'm like, I've been doing the same stuff as Meaghan. I'm like, maybe I'm tired. Maybe I should just bail on this workout. But I was like, nah, I'll just do it. I'll feel better if I do it. And I was real happy I finished it because the splits were better, much better than I expected.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon? You like to work out at nighttime.
Well, in the afternoon, not like 9 p.m. at night like Robbie does. But yeah, training's been going well. Definitely have to get a little bit more consistent these days. So we're trying to work on that. But I think I've been resting on my laurels a little bit with a little bit of that 5K and marathon training. And now I sort of need a new block. So trying to get back into all that and hopefully get a good showing at the 10 miler.
That would be awesome. The 10 miler that he's talking about is a Baltimore 10 miler, which should be pretty sick. And talk about our schedule not slowing down at all. Like we're going right back into trip to New York soon. Boston. Are we doing Boston or is it New York on down?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's New York on down. But we'll tell you more about that soon.
But let's talk a little bit about our weekend in San Francisco. What were we doing out there, Thomas?
We were having a lot of fun. Like we went out there for Salomon, did a project with Ciele that was a joint release of a new shoe. So we took the whole team, Brandon, Robbie, Meaghan, myself. We left Robbie out there, but he'll come back.
Eventually, he'll make it.
And so we had like a 3-part like kind of adventure. The first was the speakeasy event, which was pretty sick.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Brandon, describe a little bit of what was going on.
Ooh, at the speakeasy? Well, you and I did a lot of drinking.
Yeah. I think everybody there did.
Meg did a lot of drinking too.
I did.
We all kind of were having fun. Ashley Mateo was there. That was fun.
There was a bunch of media there. What was crazy was that it was a hard alcohol speakeasy event. So they were doing all these cocktails that were like mixed cocktails. And
they were all really good. I think I tried like one of everything.
Pretty much. What was the one you liked? It was something lover or something.
And I ordered it like 10 times and I forgot the name of it every time I ordered it. And now I don't
like
even
secret
remember.
lover or something like that. Anyway, all of them had alcohol, and the weird thing about that is we're celebrating the launch of this shoe, but the next morning we're going to have a shakeout run.
They really strategically planned that. Like everyone go out drinking. We're not going to have that much food there, but tons of alcohol and then go run the next morning. Yeah,
there's some charcuterie and that was pretty much it for food, right?
Charcuterie cones.
Little tiny cupcakes.
Yeah. Yeah, they really just spent all the money on the liquor bill, really. They were just like no budget for food.
And the building itself was interesting because it had like secret rooms. There's like rooms hidden behind bookcases.
And from the outside, it just looks like a weird gray warehouse. So like you wouldn't know there was like some fancy bar inside.
Yeah. And don't worry, you'll see some of this footage. If you didn't see it on our Instagram, you'll see like a longer video that Brandon's putting together to kind of document the whole thing, it's going to be pretty sick. So we went out to pizza after speakeasy.
Had to soak up that liquor.
Late night pizza. That was fun. And like walking around San Francisco with, I don't know, there's 10 of us or something running around. And we got our pizza on, went to bed, woke up, got ready for the shakeout run, which was in a beautiful area of San Francisco near the Presidio. And I thought that was like just such a cute little neighborhood. And
it also happened to be like perfect weather. It was like 50 degrees and sunshine. And we started the run from a runner's mind and then just basically went up through Presidio Park.
Yeah, we're with Noah Droddy, Ricky Gates. And before the speakeasy, we didn't mention, we interviewed Ricky Gates, and you'll get that on this podcast. So get excited about that. But we went through, like, what I love, my favorite thing about San Francisco parks is the smell of the eucalyptus.
I knew you were going to say that.
I just love that.
I didn't know where you were going with that. So.
I feel like I'm in a spa. Like you're running through and it's just like, it's so amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a really nice park. And then you get rewarded at 2.5 miles with a beautiful view of the Golden Gate Bridge and a nice little fog over that. So that was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was just so much fun. And then they're like, hey, we'll take the trails back. And I was like, I'm wearing road shoes. I don't know if I want to go on trails. But these trails are not like the gross things that we have out here on the East Coast.
No, it was like packed dirt. It was very runnable.
Yeah, it was super. I'd probably just run on that.
Yeah.
But it was really nice. Sun was beaming through the trees. The alcohol was sweating from my pores. Like I had a layer of sweat.
You did seem to be sweating more than everyone else.
God. Yeah, I was greased up.
I do remember looking at some of the GoPro footage and just seeing Thomas just profusely sweating
Getting all
his
that
entire
alcohol out.
face. Yeah, he was just like he was doing a full detox that day. So
I got it all out. It was amazing. But yeah, it was awesome. Runner's Mind gave out. They did a little bit of a giveaway while we were there, which was cool. Some people won some Ciele hats and stuff like that. Really cool store. Good selection.
Yeah, we got a couple of the new Ciele hats, which Brandon's wearing one right now. It's my favorite, the all white. I love it.
Why do you like that? Just simplicity?
Yeah, and I'm just, I love the all white shoe. I love the all white hat. They get dirty very easily, but I love
not the
them.
all white shorts and all white singlet?
No.
All black.
Yeah.
Always black.
Just the accessories are the white. That's what I prefer.
Yeah. What did you think of the run, Brandon?
at Runner's Mile?
Yeah, you were running around with the camera.
Yeah, it was great. Just getting to kind of talk to everyone and do my usual thing, just taking photos. It was just sort of, it's interesting because you didn't, you anticipate, because we had run a few days before that, we had run across the Golden Gate, and we had done a little bit of running up and down those hills, and I was expecting a lot of the same, just kind of going through the city. But then you just, every now and then in San Francisco, you run into this huge park.
Yeah.
And there's just huge parks right in the middle of the city, very inconveniently placed, but and that was really nice, just getting to run through those neighborhoods and just see like a different part of the city.
We did see a lot of the city. We ran through most of it.
Yeah, that running across the Golden Gate Bridge with the team was one of my favorite
That was a lot of fun.
Like things that we've done.
So then after our run with the group, we pretty much had a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, and then we got ready.
Well, so we originally were planning to leave early Sunday morning, and then found out that Beta Breakers was happening Sunday morning. And I wasn't even sure we were going to be able to get to the airport because we were inside of the course where our hotel was located. And then we were like, well, why wouldn't we just run it? So a couple days before, we signed up for Beta Breakers, moved our flight to later in the afternoon, and totally worth it.
Yeah, even though we got home at 2 a.m. It was
rough.
totally worth it.
I think I didn't go to bed till like 3:30.
Yeah.
So that was pretty rough.
So that morning we got up.
Yeah.
Brandon came. Robbie's already gone. He's left for the Pacific Northwest. I think he would have loved this race.
He would have.
It's zany. It's crazy.
Everyone's dressed up at this, like it's such a different vibe on this start line than your typical start line, especially when you're like towards the front.
Yeah.
You normally have like all these elites. You have all of this like nervous energy. This was like
dancing.
Wild West.
Yeah. And the centipedes.
Yeah. The coolest thing about this race is that there's a whole, what they call like a centipede category where it's at least 13, I think.
It is 13.
But you can have more.
No, it's 13.
Oh, it's only 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
13. That's why they had the spare people run alongside.
Got it.
In case somebody had to pop off. But it's 13 runners, bungee corded together. And our buddy Scotty Boss, who works for Deckers, actually runs with the Hoka Aggies team. And they ended up winning it. Do you know what the time was?
I don't know. No.
It was super fast.
They were just moving. Like I was sort of going out kind of hot off the gate in that first mile. And I think I saw kind of looked to my right, and Scotty Boss kind of looked to his left, and we were kind of made some awkward eye contact for a second. But the Hoka Aggies team and just a few of those other centipede teams, it's really impressive because they go 5 minutes out the gate bungee cord together. So it is really interesting to see how fast and how competitive and just how dense of a field San Francisco has.
And for those of you who don't know why it's called Beta Breakers, it starts on one side of San Francisco that's on the bay, and you run to the other side of San Francisco on the water, which is the Pacific Ocean, obviously. So I thought the course was challenging, but it was a beautiful course.
So they kind of throw in a very large hill around the 2.5 mile mark, to say the very least. But what's good about the course is it's hilly, but every uphill you get rewarded with a downhill. So, for every hard work, you get a little bit of recovery.
You're underselling that hill. That hill is insane. That's in any race I've ever run. That's probably the toughest hill. And I'm talking about some of the trail runs I've done.
Yeah, I don't think I've run a tougher or bigger hill in a race before.
All right, Meg's got some information.
The Hoka team didn't win. The Peninsula Distance Club won with a 39:12, which is a 5:15 minute mile.
Wow. We're 13 people
my
tied
God.
together.
And that's on like a really tough course. So
Yeah.
so if you wanted to even convert that, it's like
Wait, this is amazing. Okay, so the two top centipede teams, so that's 13 people bungeed together, were 4 seconds apart.
Oh, wow.
So Hoka was 4 seconds behind them.
Wow, were those the lumberjacks?
I don't know.
Okay. There's the one team was dressed up as lumberjacks. There's another one that was 1,001 Dalmatian. So everybody that was on that team,
They seemed like a lot of fun.
yeah, that was all female, and they were booking it, and they were all dressed like Dalmatians, and the one person in the lead was Cruella de Vil. So that was pretty cool. But it was when you say that hill was tough. Meg, how long is that hill? Was it like?
It was almost like a mile. I mean, when you look on the map, I'm not sure it was a mile.
It
It didn't
didn't
feel
feel
like
like
a
a
mile,
mile.
but maybe like half of a mile. But what was crazy about it is like you would go up and then you'd have like a little reprieve, and then you'd go up and then you'd have a little reprieve.
Well, I think that's where the roads were going through,
Right.
like, where they cut through. So you had about the width of a double lane road where it would flatten out, and then you'd continue the climb.
Yeah.
And it was something.
But you knew once you got to the top of that, you were done with the big hill.
Done with the big hill. There were still some other
There were some rollers, yeah.
But overall, and then you kind of finish. Like I kept waiting for like to get punched one more time before the finish, and then it kind of like the finish did kind of like roll into the finish line. And when you see that ocean, you're like, yes.
I'm not going to lie, I was a little underwhelmed with the spectators. Like, I think I had, especially coming off of Boston, like just expecting crazy crowds out there from what we've heard. And because I think, especially since you end in a park, there's just not a lot of space for people to be and to get there.
I mean, there were some dancing unicorns and stuff.
That was good at mile
But
6.
yeah, I agree with you. The crowd support wasn't exactly what I was expecting. But I also think it's kind of like two races. Like, we're not the entertaining part of the race.
Right.
We were in the
front.
And as a matter of fact, like, I think we missed, like, if we wanted to see the crazy costumes and the naked runners and stuff like that, we would have either needed to slow down and hang out. But we finished at a pretty rapid pace. And then the best part was, as soon as we finished, I was like, I don't know. I looked at Brandon, and we were planning on running back along the course back to our hotel. And I could see in Brandon's face that he was with me when I said, hey, maybe we should take the bus or get a cab back.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'm glad we did it. In the end, I'm glad we did the run.
I think we ended up avoiding, like, I was worried that all those downhills we were going to have to run back up. And it wasn't that bad.
There were some climbs, but yeah.
It's a hilly city, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much hillier than any other city that I've run in so far, so for sure.
But now we can all say that we did Beta Breakers and Breakers to Bay.
Yeah,
Not many people.
that should be the race right there.
Yeah.
But and we got back, we ran all the way, and pretty much had to shower real quick, grab our stuff, and head to the airport.
Yeah. It was a 4-day trip, which is pretty short across the country.
Yeah. It felt like a 5-day trip.
It felt like a month.
Yeah.
We packed in so much.
It was.
We were so tired.
Yeah.
By the time we had gotten to the airport, I think we were
I think
also
we're still tired.
I'm still tired.
Yeah, I'm still recovering. So
Yeah. So in front of us, we should probably jump in
Yeah.
and talk about this shoe. And in true Robbie fashion, he forgot to pack his, so Brandon brought his bag.
yeah,
These are his
like,
shoes.
Thanks, Robbie. Robbie left when Robbie left the hotel, he left like 6 different things, and I was just like, great, now this became my problem. So I was like texting him, and I was like, dude, you left like your like laptop charger here and your shoes, and he's like, oh yeah, like I guess if you want to just bring those back for me, And I'm just like, yeah, like sure, dude, like I'll do that.
Meanwhile, Brandon had the tiniest bag of all three of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm like this tiny bag.
But yeah, so those of you not watching, we're talking about the Salomon Phantasm, specifically the Ciele collab version. So it's that, what are we calling this? Like cheetah?
I'd say it's like a leopard / cheetah print, psychedelic. It's kind of like not a true black with kind of like a orange fluorescent underneath of the like swipe. Kind of has, it's like a white and black kind of upper.
So there's this one, and then there's also the Pulsar Trail Pro, which we don't have here right now. But those were sort of the two shoes that Salomon and Ciele did a collab on. And the only two shoes I brought on my trip. So.
Oh, I forgot to mention that when we were talking about the Beta Breakers.
Yeah.
Meaghan and I brought,
Pair of alphas.
race day shoes. Brandon had to choose between this, which would have been fine, or the trail version.
Right.
And why'd you choose the trail version?
So I actually chose the trail version because the lugs on the bottom weren't that aggressive, so I could still run on the roads in them. But it really just came down to like that lockdown in the upper. I think that Salomon were like super sensitive about how a lockdown on the trails are going to feel like at all times. So the upper was just really, really nice around
Felt like
the
it
ankle,
dialed in a little
really
bit.
around the ankle and the heel collar more specifically is where it dialed in better. So I went with those.
Yeah. I would say, the foam is really nice on it. This version doesn't have the carbon infused plate. This one has just a regular TPU plate into the foam. And the foam is really nice. I like the foam a lot. The upper on the shoe, I think we all had a little bit of an issue with a little bit of heel lift. I know that Robbie was like, yeah, I wish there was one more eyelet or one more, piece down. Did any of you guys try doing the lockdown lacing?
I did not.
Well, I mean, there was no other. There wasn't the runner's loop, so you could.
Well, yeah, you could. You could do the runner's loop on that one. I think that one's meant to be.
Oh, well, then yeah, I was already doing it.
Okay. No, I mean, like you do. Never mind. I'll show you after the review. But yeah.
So this foam is the Energy Surge.
Yeah, Energy Surge foam. It's really nice and bouncy.
Yeah, I thought it felt pretty good underfoot.
Yeah.
And I also like the just the
rocker.
The rocker.
Yeah. And it has a lot of rubber coverage on the toe. So
yeah, I think it's a durable shoe.
Yeah.
It's an up tempo daily trainer. I wouldn't want to like sprint around and race beta breakers in it again, but just if you wanted to go out for your normal like 5, 6, 7 easy miles, even if you wanted to like throw in a little bit of tempo work in there, you definitely could.
Yeah, I feel like it's a step in the right direction for Salomon with their running shoes. In the past, I felt like they took their trail shoe and put lugs on it, where I feel like this one was designed, for running. Even though the Pulsar Trail is very similar to it, I feel like it's tweaked enough that this one feels like a road shoe and that one feels like a trail shoe that you would run beta breakers in.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's going in the right direction. Like we said, we're the upper's not perfect, but it's a good shoe.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up the Phantasm. You can check it out. We've got lots of pictures on the gram if you want to take a look, if you're listening to this and you want to look later.
And we'll also, as Thomas mentioned a little earlier, we'll be sharing a full sort of recap video of the weekend and everything we just talked about. So get excited for that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some pictures of the Phantasm in there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. One of the cool things that we got to do while we were out in San Francisco was actually meet Ricky Gates. If you're not familiar with him, you should check out his YouTube channel. He's got a couple videos of him doing a self-supported run across the United States. He ran every street in San Francisco, which I kind of got before we went to San Francisco. In my mind, I was like, okay, I live in a city. I understand. But San Francisco is massive. And like I grew up out there, and the extra sprawl of the city, since like maybe I didn't explore it as a kid, I stayed downtown or whatever. It's a massive city. And like, Brandon just said, it's extremely hilly. And this, like running every street there, doesn't sound like that insane.
It is.
It is.
It's super impressive.
Yeah. And Ricky couldn't be a nicer guy. I actually ran into him on the Beta Breakers course as well, so that was kind of cool. And got to do a little like running interview with him while we're out there, which was basically me going, "Hey, how's everything going?" He told me how everything was going, and then I asked him again, "So how's everything going?" But that's the runner's mind while you're racing. Like I couldn't, think straight.
Not all functioning.
Yeah. Plus, there's a guy running by with Speedos on that was a Pokemon catcher. What's the Pokemon catcher's name?
Ash.
Yeah, he was Ash, but Ash with a Speedo on.
Did you get passed by anyone on the course that you're like, man, like a banana?
I mean, all the Dalmatians passed me.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I was on the course and there was a banana behind me, and on every single,
Did he
and
split?
it was the first banana. First of all, it was the first banana.
Did they get awards the first banana?
I have no idea, but I just remember for all of basically every single crowd, it was like, because I was just running in like a normal like tracksmith singlet, so I was like lame and boring,
Yeah.
and I was like, they would like look at me and be like, oh hey, like,
Hey,
great,
luck,
good,
yeah.
yeah, woo, and then like 10 meters behind me, they'd be like first banana, like freaking out, and like they're like trying to like hype up this banana as much as they can, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm gonna get passed by a banana any minute.
Was that why were you conscious of that and been like, I'm not getting passed?
Yeah, I was just like holding out for dear life. I think that's the first thing I said to Meg. I was just like, I'm not like, I think I said it at the end to her, and I was like, there was this banana behind me, and I couldn't lose to the banana.
Meanwhile, I was worried about Waldo coming in hot at the
See?
finish line.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
think
were
Waldo-
neck and neck.
I think Waldo actually might have beat you. And here's why.
Oh,
I think that you probably started in front of Waldo.
that's
Chip time.
That's true. I probably did start in front of Waldo.
Yeah. And that, I know pride wise, you did amazing because you were like, I'm not getting beat by Waldo. And we watched the video over and over to see like how close.
Can't believe you guys actually looked at that video.
Are you kidding?
Especially because there's like 2 finish lines, and so we were going by the first one, which like it's real close.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And then it's funny that you say that though, because I was running kind of like casual. I wasn't like racing it. I was just trying to have fun. I had the GoPro out there. I was filming stuff. But there was a certain point where, I passed Ricky, and Ricky was doing an easy run. Like he was not racing. I don't even think he was registered. He was just enjoying the course. He's running with a guy carrying like a heavy, like normally Brandon's running with a camera. Ricky's guy had like a pretty decent sized lens on that sucker, like and like a rig. Yeah, the whole thing. And I was like, wow. So they weren't trying to run fast, but I passed Ricky, and in my heart, I was like, not that I wanted to beat Ricky, but I didn't want to almost like disappoint him and let him catch back up to me. So like, I was like, and I kept thinking I was hearing people yell out Ricky Gates.
You're like, he's coming.
Yeah. But I don't think they were. I think that was in my imagination. But that one, I loved like the Ash running by. Ash like passed me, and I don't know what happened. About a mile out, he like pulled over to the side, and like I think it's one thing if you get like normally you have struggle in a race, but when you're wearing a Speedo and you have to pull over,
Pikachu on your butt.
Yeah, it's actually what it was. It was a Pikachu
That's
Speedo.
More devastating.
Yeah, I'm like
it was a yellow Speedo.
Yeah, you saw the guy?
I saw the video.
You saw the video?
Yeah.
I tried to get an interview with him, and I thought I had it all, like I got his name and everything, but somehow when I went back to look at the GoPro, it's missing. And he was the nicest guy. Like I just ran up. First, I got a close up of his butt, and then ran up next to him. Was like, "Hey, what's your name? What are you doing?" And he was a very nice guy.
Like you saw his butt, or you put the camera close up to his butt?
I put both. I put the camera when I started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna film this guy because this is funny. His butt, and so I put the camera near his butt, and then I don't know. You tell me what footage we ended up getting, because then I swung around him and ran next to him, and I was like, hey, this is great, because someone called him Mario, and I go, I know you're not Mario. And he goes, no. I go, you're the Pokemon guy, right? And he goes, yeah. And so we're talking for a little bit. I go, what's your name? And everything like that. I was all excited. I had this great interview mid-race with this guy. And then he took off and like went fast. And I was like, oh, cool. That was a fun mid-race interview with somebody who's actually running beta breakers the way. And I was all excited about it. Got back, looked at the GoPro footage, and there's like a fraction of like the conversation.
Yeah, it turns out Thomas turned off the GoPro halfway through the interview.
I don't think I did. I think I went out there with low battery, and I think for some reason the GoPro does a thing when it's trying to conserve battery where it will only shoot for like 10 seconds at a time or something.
That could be it.
I don't know. That's my theory. I'm going to go with.
All right. So you kind of already introed Ricky. Is there anything else you want to say about him before we start this interview?
No, it was also, I have to say, do you remember the name of the hotel we got to interview him in?
Nope.
All right. Well, the Marriott, the dude got nuts. There's nobody in the lobby. We're setting up to interview him. And the Marriott guy's like, did you guys get a permit to
Reserve this area?
Reserve this to... And we're looking around, they're like, nobody is here.
Yeah, it was a very busy lobby, huh?
Yeah. And he's like, well, you got... So, like we normally do, we find a way. And we talked to Mike, who is actually... Mike Ambrose, who's on the Salomon team, who designed the Phantasm and the Pulsar. We're like, he's like, my hotel's cool, and they'll probably let us do it.
And it was actually much better. It was much better environment. There was a fireplace. Yeah. It worked out.
Poor Robbie, sweating balls, hanging out, having to sit next to the fireplace. I give him like kudos to Robbie for taking that seat because he literally had the hot seat. But yeah, so this was a fun interview. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did with Ricky. I will always be a fan of Ricky after this interview. He's just a nice, humble, sweet guy. And I mean, you'll hear.